This conference will now be recorded.
All right, so today is Tuesday, March 12th, and as always, everything that we're going to be talking about today is for educational purposes only, and nothing is intended as any type of investment advice. All right, so BBTH, first thing that I'm looking at this morning. Now, keep in mind, this is not a beginner type stock. I mean, this thing does get very, very crazy. You could even see, I mean, just as we were pushing up around that 42 level, you could see these huge bars that come in it for the most part. I mean, for the most part this morning, it's trading pretty well. But if we come over here, we can see, so we have at 44, we have a few aspirants that came back in. At 45, you can see the same type of deal. And then at 46, we got a little bit of selling, not really anything that we're seeing, that we saw too much of it. 1,000 shares coming back in there. So obviously, we're going to be looking for a pullback to come back in from those aspirants that we had at 45 and 44. We've already came back underneath that, and we're starting to go back towards that buying. So really, at this point, any type of trigger towards that upside is going to get us back towards this double top right here at that 46.75 level. All right. Overall, this stock, it does not take a lot. This is a TLRY type stock because we know, I mean, yesterday $16 move, $56 last week coming into it. So we know this thing can move big time. So we're not going to be seeing a huge amount of prints, especially based off of the orders being so thin. So really what we need is we just need a few, we need a burst. We need something, 2, 3, 4, 5 prints that come into there. And from that, it's a pretty easy stock to read overall. It moves all over the place. So just make sure that you're interpreting the prints right, and that if you're trading this stock, that you know how to interpret the prints right, especially on a stock that moves as much as this. Because, well, like I said, I mean, this thing can, it could be at 45, it could drop to 35 in 2 seconds. So just, make sure that you get that show of hand before you go back into it. But we just certainly have buying up above, and, we were already in the pullback from those aspirants that we saw already. Next thing to look at is Momo, MOMO. So this is it's not the best trading stock this morning. I haven't really found anything out there that I really that interested in. But overall, this is one of those stocks that we know this thing can move. On average, it only trades $1.27, but we're going to be expecting a lot more than that, especially based off the fact that the pre-market, it's already trading almost 900,000 shares. So coming back over, you can see, as we've came back up towards this, that 36, that 35 level, we have got a huge, a whole bunch of selling. We had a few aspirants that came in at that 36, and we're pulling back from that. But overall, just based off the volume that we have out there and based off the bigger bars, we certainly, I really wish we would have seen a lot more at that 36 level. So coming back over, you can see 35, we had a little bit of selling that kind of pushed it back up, and we have the below the bid and above the aspirants. It reminds me of the Laker colors. When I see something like this, basically what that tells us is that somebody came in and they did something and reported it a lot later. So if we look at the actual, you can see it's TRF. So basically what that means is that it's being reported at a later time. So just keep an eye on that 35-30 level-ish. So, 35, 35-30, you can see, basically what we want to do is we want to be bullish above the highest number during these Lakers colors and bearish below the lowest number. So overall, based off what we have, is definitely a lot more selling than we've seen buying as we came back towards that upside. One thing to look at as well is that the stock really jumped up overnight, and it didn't really have any type of trading until it came into 8 o'clock. So this move towards the upside had a lot more volume than, the move towards the downside had a lot more volume than the move that came in towards that upside. So a lot of the times what we end up seeing is it come right back down. So we're going to have a triple bottom once we come towards that 34.75 area, a little bit lower than that. But, keep that in mind, because if it breaks that, we're going to fill this gap very, very, very easily. Next thing looking at is a sideless stock, but it's SEEL. So we had some good buying that was coming in a little bit earlier. You can see right underneath that 4 level. And then if we go back towards the beginning, you can see the Laker colors that came back in here. So bullish above the highest number, bearish below the lowest. But we did have some really, really nice buying that came in at that 390 level. So, certainly something, especially the time frame. If you look 7:42 in the morning, for this to be able to get that much buying, certainly going to be expecting that pullback. But there's definitely somebody that's looking for this stock to come up a lot higher. And we know that based off of the other day when we saw how much this thing could actually move when we got, almost pretty much past that 750 level, but we had buying at that 750. So there's certainly a lot of buying up above it. It's just going to be a matter of really being able to get that volume and not kind of getting that kiss of death once the morning opens. That's why it's on our side list. But like I said, overall, that 4 level definitely had, especially right underneath, had a ton of buying. Someone took a very, very nice position in that. So we're going to be watching that one pretty closely. And then other than that, guys, let's take a look at our scanner, but I'm not really too happy with most of the stuff that I see out there. So SFIX, it usually moves about $1.31. Yesterday, $2 and almost $2.50. So we can see this morning 480,000 shares that was coming into it. But the thing is that yesterday it moved in the aftermarket, and then this morning, based off of the prints that we see, I didn't see anything that I really was, kind of fell in love with. So we had some prints that came in at 34.50, but we also, it's on Ask prints that came in at 34.50, but we also had bid prints, at the same time as we were coming in earlier. So that level is certainly mixed, but we have to understand that it's probably going to trade very consolidated. It's not a really big mover, and just based off the pre-market, as we can see so far, you can see the bars. I mean, they're overlapping each other, so it doesn't look like it's going to be, the smoothest trade out there based off of the variables that we see going on. But it's certainly something that we're going to keep an eye on. It's just that the prints are definitely going to be mixed at most of them. Big earnings beat, 100%. I mean, based off of what we saw going into the aftermarket, I mean, for the stock to jump up this much, especially when it really doesn't move that much at all, and on average trades about 1.7 million shares, that definitely needs a catalyst to be able to move like this. Do you see NIO coming back above 10? Yeah, I absolutely do, but at the same time, you got to understand something. So NIO. If we look at NIO right now, on average, it trades 46 cents. All right, so 46 cents is not really a big mover. So for this thing to go to 15, there's basically two options. Okay, first of all, it's going to take forever. Okay, or it's just going to happen at once. Now, we know it doesn't happen at once based off of how long that they kept this thing underneath and around that 8 level to build up their position. So yes, I 100% believe at some point it's going to be above 10, but it's going to take forever. This is not a short-term trade. I know Pritesh had put that in there a billion different times, but this stock takes forever to move. It goes quant. It goes very, very quanty. So the company itself, the research that was done, love the company, love, where the possibility, and love the positions coming back into that, but it's not going to be quick. It's going to be a long time as that comes in. People like NIO at 10, but everyone will love it at 5. I mean, overall, once the buying starts coming back in, I'm going to be looking bullish on it, but I haven't seen that yet. Okay. But, we certainly know there's a huge amount of buying that's up above. There's just, as of right this second, it's went into that quant type mode. That's why it trades on average 46 cents. All right, let's finish up our scanners. We have AKBA, 1 million shares coming in, but this is another one I'm just not sold on it at all. I don't really see too much out there that I really that I'm falling in love with. I mean, it's just, it's been slower pre-market. So coming over to this 9 level, we know we have a bit of buying, not as much as I would like to see. And then coming back over at that 10 level, we had some decent buying as well, but not something that really sells us there. So I am going to put AKBA on our side list, but overall, like I said, I'm not really sold on it at all until we're going to need to see a trigger. We're going to need to see more prints come in because, overall, as we got above that 10 level, we could see that the selling was pretty much outweighed the buying that we saw coming into there. There's a little bit of new buying, but not as much as we'd like to see. All right, so we also have LPCN 1.7, and absolutely nothing going on there. We have SEAL, which we've already talked about, and then that is pretty much it. AXGT, absolutely nothing, complete quant trade, and nothing with any type of other volume during that on the gainer side. And then when we look over at the losers, we really don't have much there either. So we have PXS, 145,000 shares, but complete quant. I mean, it's just nothing for us to do with it. ADT, same type of deal. DKS, right now, see, I don't like it at all right now, 266,000 shares, but if we look over here, you can see there's just too many gaps between that volume. Is it going to move? It moves on average about $1.15, so I expect a lot more of a move today, and I'm going to put it on a regular list. And the reason I'm going to put it on a regular list is just because of the fact that we do know that this thing could move. I mean, especially when we have some type of catalyst, at whatever happened this morning that it moved as much as it did on. But overall, we need to see better prints. I mean, I like it because of the possibilities of where it can move and what its range could be, but there's just nothing out there yet. 2 prints at 36 is not going to be something for me to be able to really make my decision on until we see some type of better show of hand. TNXP, absolute garbage, and then GLBS, 128,000 shares, but nothing going on this morning. Remember, GLBS, it's got the buying up above. It's just there's just nothing going on. So there's nothing to tell us that anything is going to happen yet. Yesterday, if we look into the aftermarket, you can see it made a nice move, but it was on no volume. And when something moves on no volume, it really doesn't have any type of substance behind it. So anything at TNXP, as we just talked about, absolutely nothing. Okay, it's just nothing going on there. And then GLBS, we just spoke about as well. Now, anything else I missed? I mean, looking at our everyday stocks, there's really not anything that's too great. I'm not really sold on anything. Boeing is going to move today again, and we're going to see a huge range on it, but it's a $389 stock, so I'm not really. It's just a little bit too expensive. We could find better things that are going to be moving once the morning opens. And that pretty much seems like it. All right. So, guys, remember classes. I'm going to be sending that email out as soon as we are finished here. We will begin at 10 a.m. Let's get ready for the morning. Once again, we have some good stuff, that has some good possibilities. Not really any type of killer prints out there yet to tell us exactly what the stock's going to do. So it's just, once again, just patience. Just so once the market opens, we'll find, our show of hands, and we'll take it from there. All right, guys? So I will talk to everyone in the chat, the rest of you in class, and happy trading.